Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our study deals with the effect of diabetes and the role of sitagliptin on bone characteristics of rats. I also need a point.
Please.
We can simply describe diabetes as a disease where the blood sugar levels are higher than normal. And there are mainly two types of diabetes. Type 1, where insulin is not produced, and type 2, where insulin is produced but the amount of insulin is not adequate. And there are some other specific types due to other causes. For example, women during pregnancy usually have diabetes. Now, insulin is a hormone produced in the pancreas, and its amount is augmented by metabolic hormones, the incretins, released in our body after eating. The role of insulin is to move sugar from the blood to the cells for energy, and in this way it regulates the blood sugar levels. But it should be mentioned that the incretins are rapidly deactivated by DPP4 enzyme. This was a normal person, not a patient, and the difference in the diabetic person is that less insulin is produced in the pancreas, so less sugar is moved into the cells, and more sugar remains in the blood. Among the drugs nowadays used for the treatment of type 2 diabetes is the DPP4 inhibitors. A type of this inhibitor is sitagliptin, which was used in this study. DPP4 inhibitors blocks the DPP4 enzyme in order for the incretins to remain active for more time and more insulin to be produced. In our study, 30 male 10-week-old Wistar rats were used. They were categorized in 3 groups. The control ones, diabetic, and the diabetic which were treated with sitagliptin. In order to make rats diabetic, fructose was added in the water, and in addition, streptozotocin was injected into them. And in order for all rats to be behaved in the same manner, even the control rats were pinched with a needle. After 1 week of the injection, animals with non-fasting blood glucose levels after more than a specific amount were considered diabetic, and their treatment started with sitagliptin. And 8 weeks after the treatment, all animals were sacrificed. All femoral bones were subjected to 3-point bending tests in an electromechanical loading frame, and specially designed apparatus for supporting small bones. All experiments were carried out under displacement control mode at a rate equal to 0.5 millimeters per minute, simulating quasi-static conditions. And finally, a video extensometer here was used for the accurate determination of the deflection of the bone. If anyone worked in such protocols, we mainly face 2 problems. The first one is the geometry of the bones. We all have in mind that the cross-section of the bones are elliptical. And yes, there is, but not in all cases. In most cases, the cross-section cannot be described as elliptical, so even if you want to calculate the cross-sectional area, it's rather difficult. The second problem is that the loading axis does not usually coincide with one of the principal axes. And how do we know that? Before each experiment, the point at which the load was applied was marked red, and the respective point at the lower level of the bone was marked black. And it was proven that the loading axis is implied with respect to the principal system. So we expect shear stresses also to be developed. Now, after the experiments, half of the bones are placed vertically in a cup, which is filled with resin. And after a day, the new specimen, which is the bone and resin, is removed from the cup. The upper surface of the specimen is greeted with abrasive papers, and in a stereoscope, we take photos of the upper surface. The photos are reported in the AutoCAD software. The outer and the inner perimeter of each bone is drawn, as well as the loading axis. The cross-sectional area is calculated, and the centroid of the cross-section is determined. And now the eccentricity of the load is known. And finally, the average thickness of each bone and the area enclosed by the median line, which is needed for the calculation of the shear stresses, is also calculated. The second moment of area above the centroidal axis are determined, and afterwards, the principal second moment of area are determined, as well as their orientation. Now, the components of the applied load is calculated based with the aid of the angle theta principle in order to determine the bending moments and the torsional one. And using the bending formula, neutral axis is determined, and finally, normal stresses and shear stresses are also calculated. And now the results. At the first glance, diabetic bones seems to be thinner and also with smaller cross-sectional area. And sitagliptin, the treated bones, seems to have the same behavior. I would like to mention one more time that the video extensometer was used. This is a typical photo of the video, and this is the reason why we used it. As it is expected, the deflection obtained by the loading frame is much bigger than the accurate deflection of the bone determined by the video extensometer. These are typical graphs for each group of specimens, load versus deflection. And we can see that the diabetic bones are more brittle than the control ones, and but at the same time are about 16% stiffer than the control ones. And similar behavior has the treated bones. Now, if we compare the maximum load applied, we can see that the diabetic bones sustained about 7% larger forces, and the treated bones have almost the same behavior as the control ones. But when the bending stresses are compared, these differences differences are much bigger since the cross-sections are taken into account. The shear stresses, as they were calculated, as we previously mentioned, do not affect the differences between the groups when they are taken into account in the equivalent stress. The limitations of our study is the number of animals used, and of course more animals must be sacrificed. And the formula for the calculation of the shear stress is of the borderline of applicability, since not all cross-sections on all bones are thin wall. And the procedure, for determining the loading axis can be further improved. To conclude, we can say that diabetic bone seems to be stronger and stiffer than the control ones, and at the same time more fragile. Sitagliptin partly reverses the effect of diabetes concerning the equivalent mesostress. And we understand that it sounds strange that diabetic bones are stronger than the control ones. Maybe it wasn't expected, but this fact cannot be explained now for two reasons. First of all, the study is still in progress and the biochemical results are not obtained yet. And secondly, the literature is rich, but the results are not consistent with each other. So the effect of diabetes on the bone strength is appeared to be significantly negative. Indicative references are here, or negligible, or positive. So the question about the effect of diabetes on bones is still open, and research must continue. And I would like to thank you for your attention.